Welcome back, chaps. Okay, as you can see, we've made quite a lot of progress with our project BMW. Just thinking back where we left off, the last video, we were talking about the fuel tank with regard to we were thinking the tank had to have a sealer, some kind of sealer added to it to get it fuel ready. I have had emails back from M-Moto. They've been very helpful on quite a lot of issues actually, but they've informed me that the tank's finished. It requires no more work other than obviously the piping up that we have to do on the build completion. So it's fuel ready. There's no like messing around with any additives to be put in the tank to seal it. So I just want to make that clear that it is ready. Okay, because before the last video we were a little bit unsure due to a YouTube video that was going, you know, that's related to this anyway. So conclusion is it's done. It needs no work. So anyway, onwards. Right. Okay. Panels wise, still think excellent. Very well. Very good. This side has actually been pretty unproblematic. Pretty much, you know, a little bit of tweaking. I had to drill a couple of holes and the hole in here and the 6mm holes to bolt it on, but generally it fits and it just kind of goes on and fits. And we come to these lines here that I think we've said before on a couple of photographs or whatever, that are nice lines, but it was to start with, but I have to be truthful about this, that we've had a problem with this side. We really have had a bit of an issue with the panel on this side. Not majorly, but we've had a bit of a problem. And the armchair guys are saying, well, it's a 6-hour build, isn't it? No, it might be when it's been prepped on the first stage build. You get it to fit the bike, the fettling for want of a better word. Then when it goes off for painting, you get it back. It might be a 6-hour build then, but so certainly this one hasn't been anyway. But don't get me wrong, I'm not making this out to be. I'm going to take the camera around and just show you what's been going on this side. So just bear with me with the camera. So okay, I'm just going to check again what you're seeing through the camera because it goes off. This side now has been, what we've had to do here, the bracket that we first bolted on in here, I've had to put a bigger slot in, and also the threaded insert came out the top of the so I've had to tack that back on with a MIG anyway, so it just kept pulling the insert out the top of the bracket. So anyway, I've tacked that in with a MIG. No big deal, it's just one of them things. But I put a bit more of a slot in at the bottom to allow us to kind of rock the tank a little bit rather than it being, there is already a bit of a slot, but in our instance, why I don't know, but for our bike it needed a bit more of a slot to try and get the basically it's run your finger down there, and it was, this one was too high, that's right, I'm just trying to remember, this one was too high and that one was too low. Still is a little bit of a ridge on there, so I might make up some other brackets to kind of just pull it in. The biggest issue is, you'll probably see it, we've been sanding a little bit on the tank, not much on the tank for obvious reasons, it's a tank at the end of the day, but taking a bit of material off because it was so tight between the two pencil lines you can see there and there. It was like feeler gauge. It really was very tight there. If you tighten this bolt up and brought that tight, you open the gap right up down the back here, and consequently this hole was pre-drilled in it, so using their brackets, mounted that in. We've still got a bit bigger of a gap there, but the biggest issue is now we've got it to, after quite a lot of sanding and filing and kept taking it off and flat disking a little bit more, I'll put it back on. But now if I just press that panel in now, we've got a pretty good gap. Now I have to stress, it's no slight on M-Moto this, or the kit or the moulds or whatever. whatever it is, it's just in our instance here, we've had to do a bit of fettling. So you could probably try just bolting it on. I mean, I know there's going to be there's like a sponge, sticky backed on one side sponge that's going to go in between here when she's painted and it's on final build. So, but no, when I take this off, measure the diameter of this tube and get a clamp, put another hole in it and just an inconspicuous bolt there and just pull that into the frame. So I know the one in here isn't in, and perhaps, you know what, perhaps that would, even that one in there, you know, judging where the hole is, we may be able to get it there. If not, I'm going to put another one in here, because it's that if we now tweak that, we can open that gap up. The gaps look better. As I said, it's no slighting any motor of this. It's just, I mean, at the end of the day, the mass-produced bikes, they're going to need a little bit of tweaking here and there. But we've pretty much got it now for a bit of messing about. And but anyway, she's on. So rear mud guard's gone off. Really quite, you know, there's no problems with it. You know, it generally does what it says in the instructions, the kit. It's so the back of the seat. Personally, the look of that, I'm going to try and do something with that. I don't know what there is that we can. We'll try and make something that possibly tidies that up at the back there. So we've got there was a rear light mounting over there that's coming with it, but I think we may be going to look at doing something different with our own rear light, which is the old kind of vintage period stock light. So that's what we're going to be fitting anyway. As you can see, exhausts are off to get the panels on and fit, and we've tried to keep the mess and dust as minimal as we could. The bars have been dropped on this. It had bar risers on it, so they've been dropped, so that kind of puts that back down again. The next issue I've got is the customer for this bike wants to just have a single speedo in the headlight, vintage period style, not have the rev counter, not have these clocks. So now I don't know, by removing the clocks, whether they're going to set all sorts of faults up, whether it's linked to the immobiliser or any of that sort of stuff. So that's one of my next jobs, is to look into that. So a bit dusty now, but it's inevitably, you know, sanding stuff down and what have you. Trying to keep it away from sand away from the bike as well. But so anyway, in general, I'm happy with it now. This morning, I'm quite so happy with it. When, do you know, I nearly got to a point, I thought that fitted that well that side, I'm not going to put this one, I'm just going to get it, you know, get it for painting, and I'm glad I did. So just, you know, just a heads up on that. So what else to tell you really? The gold forks, don't like. I certainly don't like on this bike with this kit. I'm going to try and do something with the gold forks. These have gone on okay, and you know, where's the head lamp? Here we go. So we've marked out a hole, as you can see, that, but I'm not going to cut that unless I know I can just use an aftermarket speedo with like different lights, etc. But that's generally going to be what happens with that. And obviously just the speedo showing these not there. So but I'm not cutting that until I know I can do away with these, so for obvious reasons. Right, okay, what else to tell you? We've I think we've covered it. I think we've covered what we needed to say on this. Yeah, it's been a bit of a fettling. It's nearly, when they say it's bolt on, in our instance it hasn't just been straight bolt on, we've had to do a bit of fettling, but do you know what? I'd have been surprised if it had. You know, I really would be surprised if you didn't have to do any. There's not much to do. There's not, you know, there's not much, but for us, we just wanted it, the gaps when this is painted, to look right, and it look. So it's still a bit big down there, but it's still a bit big now down here because we've got a balance with the tank rocking. So you know, where we've altered and adjusted the brackets. So yeah, onwards and upwards. So as Del Boy says, but I don't know if we're going to be millionaires this time next year, but anyway, we'll plod on. So well, okay, thanks for watching on this one. I think the next time we kind of pick it up will be, I think the next time we pick a video up will be when I see if we can get this, when I do a video on whether this wiring can actually be changed or not. I'm actually quite optimistic it can be, but anyway, we'll soon find out, and catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it. Hope you like what you're seeing, even though dust everywhere, but it'll be worth it in the end. It really will be worth it trying to get these gaps to look better rather than just bolting it on, kind of as it was. There's enough material in there. They have put enough material on this panel for you to kind of tweak and sand and file. So I was a bit wary of taking anything off the tank, obviously. You don't know the depth, the thicknesses and one thing or another in there. So, but like I say, it's kind of where that pencil line is from there to there. That's the kind of area we had the issue with. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll pick it up on the next one.